Hello, and welcome to the final presidential debate of 2020. It is time for John Palvatz and Donald Trump to shine, for the election is going to be next week. The final 2020 presidential debate between John Palvatz and Donald Trump before the 2020 presidential election that we've all been waiting for. This debate will begin momentarily. Latest news have been showing John Palvatz significantly behind in the polling. It is time to see him shine tonight. Time to see what will happen. And then next week, November of 2020, America will choose who's going to be the leader for the next 4 years to come. Welcome, folks, to the 2020 presidential debate. This will be the final debate before the presidential election in 2020. I will be your moderator tonight. And the first question goes out now for President Trump. We would like you to make an opening statement. Well, hello, folks. I am ready to be your president for the next 4 years. I'm ready for re-election and to defeat the radical liberal that is John Palvatz and Deirdre Aboud. I am ready to continue to make America great, and we must win, folks. We are going to win. We are going to win, and we will win, and we will fight back. We will continue to build the wall. We will continue to bring jobs back to America. John Palvatz is a liberal who wants to take you to socialism, who wants to take you to globalism, who doesn't care about the American people, but only cares about the radical democratic social agenda. Please vote for me, folks. This is a critical election. Mr. Palvatz, you may make your opening statement. Well, thank you, folks. I recognize the last debate got a little bit out of hand. But we will have a job to do, and that is a job to embrace America, to embrace what America really stands for, to reject the bigotry of this president. And I recognize we have to continue to take care of the middle class. We have to make sure the Democratic Party, as we are going to lead it, me and Deirdre Aboud, continues to stand what it stands for. To stand for the poor and the middle class, to stand for the folks that are being undermined, to continue to bring jobs to America, to continue to keep our nation out of war, and to continue to pass comprehensive immigration reform. We are not going to be a bigoted presidency. I want to be a president for all Americans. That is what I want to do. And I'm listening to what has happened in the Republican National Convention, hearing this president completely and all his allies completely demonize my vice presidential running mate, who I chose out of her qualifications, and I believe she will make a great vice president, but he has said horrible things about her, as has his allies. We cannot do this in America. This is not who we are, and this is who we have. We have a job to do. We want to win this election, and we are ready to be a president for all. I want to be a president for all Americans. Our first question, thank you, Mr. Trump and Mr. Palvatz. Our first question of the night will be, Mr. Palvatz, what is your specific plan to handle the issue of immigration? Mr. Palvatz, you can go first. We are going to pass comprehensive immigration reform in the first 100 days, just like Hillary Clinton said. We mean it. We are going to do it. We want to make sure the immigration reform gets passed, and we are not an open border presidency like President Trump has demonized us to be. We want to embrace the diversity of America, whether we are Muslim, Jewish, or Christian, or non-believer. We are not going to discriminate against people. We have a job to do to pass comprehensive immigration reform, to give a path to citizenship for those who work so hard here and who are harmless and who have been here. This president does not want to do that. It is the right thing to do. That's what we want to do. Mr. Trump, we are going to build the wall. That is it. We are going to continue to build the wall. We are going to finish the wall. We're going to get all the bad people out of here. All the bad owners out of here. We want them gone. We are going to get MS-13 out of here. We are going to make sure that we don't have any more caravans coming. Everybody who's coming into this country is going to come illegally, folks. And that is the final say on it. We are not backing down on this issue. Just listen to this president, folks. The way he talks about immigrants, the way he demonizes them. I do not demonize them. He demonizes them all the time. We have a job to do. Name one time I demonized him, Mr. Palvach. When you wanted to ban Muslims from America. This is why I chose Jid Raboud, who, by the way, is a very moderate Muslim. A moderate Muslim, huh? So, just because she's not a radical Muslim, is that why you chose her? Jid Raboud is a good person, and I will stand by her in the presidency all my years. Settle down, folks. We got more questions to come. What is your plan, specific plan for the economy? Mr. Palvat, you go first. We are going to make sure that Americans are employed and taken care of. We are going to make sure that people have jobs. We are going to continue to fight for the Democratic Party values of standing up for the poor and middle class. We are going to make sure that we have a raised minimum wage up to at least $15 an hour. We are going to make sure that people are taken care of, that those in poverty are taken care of. That's what we want to do. I don't know what this president wants to do, but that's what we want to do. Mr. Trump, you can continue. Our goal will be to continue the progress. We've had a booming economy, record low Hispanic and African American unemployment. The economy is booming. We are doing a great job bringing jobs back to America. John Palvach wants to ruin everything. Our next question will be, how will you handle what are your stances on the issue of climate change, Mr. Palvach? We believe in climate change, and we are not going to back down on it. We are going to work hard, and we're going to create jobs in the process of standing up to climate change, and we're going to create renewable energy jobs, and the economy will be booming with this idea. That is our plan. We want to do this sincerely. Mr. Trump, what is your stance on climate change? With the issue of climate change, it is an issue. We are going to be dealing with it as we go along. It is an issue. We do want to try to invest in renewable energy, but it's something we have to deal with as we continue to address important issues related to our economy. Mr. Trump, do you believe in climate change? Yes or no? The climate change. Do you believe in climate change, Mr. Trump? Excuse me, Mr. Palvats. Let him respond. The climate change is real, but it is a natural cycle. That is our stance on it. We will take care of things as they go along. Our next question would be, how you plan to combat the wage and gender gap and employment discrimination, Mr. Palvats. Our goal is to make sure that nobody, no matter race, religion, or sexual orientation or gender, is discriminated in the employment or the housing. We have to make sure people are protected. It is so important. I am desperately curious to know what this president stands on the issue of discrimination, because we're going to look you in the eye and we're going to say we are against it. Mr. Trump, you may respond now. We are against discrimination, just like my vice president said. We do not support discrimination. We are for equal pay for equal work. Since when? Excuse me, Mr. Palwatz, let Trump respond. We are for equal pay for equal work. We are going to continue to make sure people get proper wages, and that's that. Mr. Palwatz, where do you stand on the wage and gender gap? We want equal pay for equal work, and we are going to stand by it. We're going to make sure that everyone, no matter gender, gets paid equally. That is our stance. Next question will be on taxes. Mr. Palwatz, what is your stance on taxes? Everybody is going to pay their fair share. That is our stance. We're going to make sure that billionaires pay their fair share and that the poor and middle class aren't treated. The hard workers in the state of West Virginia, in the South, in the poorest states in the nation, we don't want them to get cheated. Mr. Trump, we want everyone to pay equal taxes. It's that simple. And we want to make sure people take home as much of pay as they can. Next question will be, where do you stand on the minimum wage? Mr. Palwatz, we believe in the fight for 15. We want 15. We will support $15 an hour to help people in need. That is our stance. Mr. Trump, we believe in slight increases in the minimum wage. That is what we believe. Our next question would be, as president, how are you going to handle how are you going to handle the military? Mr. Palwatz, we support the military, but we're not going to be getting into any wars. We intend to be problem resolvers. But our goal is not to get involved in wars, but to take care of our vets and to take care of all the homeless vets out there. And that is what we want to do. Mr. Trump, me and Mr. Palwatz agree on this. We will take care of our vets. It is not our intention to get involved in any more wars, but if a foreign enemy attacks us, we will be ready, and we are going to drastically work on national security. That is our plan. Next question will be, as President of the United States, how will you be a president for all Americans? Mr. Palwatz, you may respond first. I am going to be a president for all Americans. And when I say all, I mean all. The poor and the middle class. For those I will be president for. For those in poverty, I will be president for. For the LGBT community, I will be president for. For all races and religions, I will be president for. For men and women and for working class and for all Americans, I will be president for. I want to be a president for all Americans and to support people. Mr. Trump, I am a president for all Americans, and that is it. We are going to support all Americans, and we want to make sure all Americans are working and to continue to lower the unemployment rate. Next question. Mr. Palwatz and Mr. Trump, where do you stand on education issues? Mr. Palwatz, you go first. We want to make sure we believe in free public colleges, but we also want to make sure that students get the education they need K through 12. That is final. And we want to make sure the standards are good and that people graduate high school and continue to graduate high school. Mr. Trump, We do not agree with free public colleges, but we will continue to help out those in student loans. What is your stance on that, Mr. Palvat? We continue to support those in student loans. And what have you done for Mr. President? What have you done for student debt? Mr. President, would you like to respond to that? Well, for student debt, we have a duty to do what we can, and we have done it. We have worked hard, and we will continue to work hard for the next 4 years. What have you done, Mr. President? What have you done? We have a lot to do. That didn't answer my question. What have you done? Ooh. We have done some student relief, loan relief programs, and we are going to continue. We want to continue to push it. Okay. For the last question of this debate will be, why should people vote for you? We will start this question off with John Palavots. Thank you, folks. It's simple. It's as simple as this. I want to be a president for all Americans, no matter where your income level is, no matter what your race or gender or sexual orientation. We are not going to be a bigoted presidency. We are going to work to make sure Americans are employed, and this is what I believe in, and this is the value that I hold. We want to make sure to support those in poverty, to support our homeless vets, to support those of all economic statuses, to support those in the LGBT community, to support those of all races and religions. We have a job to do, folks, and that is to support each other and to work hard. And I want to be your president, and I humbly ask for your vote to continue to work for all Americans, because will say that I want to be a president for all Americans, no matter what your education status is or anything. I have a passion, and me and Theodore Abood are going to work very hard for the American people. We promise to work very hard for the American people. Mr. Trump, why should they vote for you? Where we want to continue to make America great, to keep America great, to bring jobs back, to continue booming the economy. That is our mission. We want to make sure that the border is secured, that people come in legally, and we want to make sure that our American people are safe. I humbly ask your vote to continue to keep America great the next 4 years. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching the 2020 presidential debate. Next week, America will make its decision of who should be the next president of the United States. Have a good night.